Do you ever wonder, how am I going to make it through to bedtime? How will I make it to the weekend? Or how will I ever get through this long, hard season with my kids? If you're a mom, you've likely asked those questions over and over again. Hi, I'm Sarah Short. I'm a busy mom of 5 kids, and after almost 2 decades of parenting and asking myself those same questions, I'm here to share with you some of the best ways to navigate through your days as a mom. From life with a newborn, to toddlers, to teenagers, and everything in between. I'll teach you how to walk through every season of motherhood with courage and creativity, and come out on the other side smarter and wiser, all while creating great relationships with your kids and a home life you love. My Nana once told me, there's no way but through. Turns out she was right, in life and in motherhood. So throw your hair in a messy bun, grab your coffee, and come have a seat as we talk about all things mom. This is the No Way But Through podcast. Well, here we are. This is episode number 2 in the No Way But Through podcast, and I'm your host, Sarah Short, and I have something really fun to share with you today, and I'm really excited that it's one of the first episodes here. I wrote a blog post back in 2013 when I had a new baby, my 5th baby. She happened to be my last and completed our family. And that blog post was titled, 2 Moms of 1 or 2 Children. I wrote it in about 20 minutes, sitting on my sofa before I had to leave to go get my kids from school. It was something I'd been thinking about for quite some time because while I was a mom to 5 kids, when I would look back on my early years as a mom, those years when I had just 1 baby and then a 2nd baby, they were some of the hardest years I'd faced as a mom. And when I would see younger moms out at the grocery store or on the playground that had a baby strapped to them and a toddler wreaking havoc and running around everywhere, I just felt so much compassion for them because I'd just been there. And I was now 5 babies in and had learned some things that were so powerful in my own life, and I just wanted to share it with them. So that day in August of 2013, 2 Moms of 1 or 2 Children was born. I wrote it, I posted it, and I left to get my kids from school. By 5 o'clock that evening, my phone was blowing up. Friends were texting me, my Facebook notifications were almost nonstop, and comments on my blog were quickly stacking up. I had no idea it would resonate like it did. But what I did know was that I believed every word of it. And in the years since I first wrote that post, it's been featured on popular blogs and magazines. It's been shared over 100,000 times and had millions of views. One of the things that I love most about what happened after I posted it was that it got shared by, yes, a lot of young moms who felt seen and understood. And I absolutely loved that because that's why I wrote it. But what encouraged me even more and still encourages me today was that older moms that I loved and respected shared it and said, yes, this is it. I was still really deep in new motherhood. I had an 8-month-old baby at the time, and my oldest son was 8. But I had learned some things, and I wrote them down, and I hit post. Now, 10 years later, I'm sitting here in my closet recording a podcast for you and sharing this post yet again. It is this thing I wrote that keeps on giving. But more importantly, it is this thing I believe now more than ever. So let's dive in. I'm going to read it. And at a few places, I'm going to add in some context because somehow I have a microphone and I kind of get to say what I want on here. Who can even believe this is my life right now? All right, here it is. 2 moms of 1 or 2 children. How do you do it? I've never counted, but I imagine the number of times I've been asked that question by moms with 1 or 2 children is somewhere in the hundreds. I have 5 children, and judging by the look on the tired and weary faces that pose the question, that number seems simply impossible. How do you do it? Those are 5 loaded words. I suppose because the it behind that question is different for everyone. How do you care for 5 little people? How do you operate on little sleep? How do you keep them safe? How do you find time to do the laundry? How do you afford them? How do you keep from losing your ever-loving mind? Mamas of 1 or 2 children, I understand every one of these questions, and I understand just where you're coming from. There are some things I want you to know about me, about children, about this journey through motherhood that we're both on. If no one has ever told you, number 1, you are maxed out emotionally and physically at the number of children you currently have. When I had my 2-month-old baby Jack, I sat on the edge of my bed and cried like a toddler who dropped her brand new ice cream cone because I thought my life was over. Over. This baby child, my supposed dream come true, wanted to wake up in the middle of the night and feed off of me, and all I wanted was to sleep. Baby, not what I'd read, would sleep all morning while I did dishes and caught up on laundry, but no way I was getting a nap in the afternoon when all of that was finished. The first time I went to Target with him, I took so much gear with me, I took my boppy, people, that after I loaded up the cart with him and my gear, I couldn't buy anything because nothing fit. I was completely overwhelmed. And then he grew into a mobile baby, and I thought it would be a good idea to get pregnant again, so that while he was ripping everything out of the cabinets, bleeding from the mouth from playing bumper cars with the coffee table, eating the sofa, crawling the stairs to plummet to his demise, and licking the electrical outlets, I could also be barfing. And he still didn't sleep. And then his brother arrived, 18 months after he was born, and I had no idea how people could possibly care for 2 children. Who are these lunatics who have a ton of children? How on earth am I supposed to nurse a newborn and keep my maniac toddler from imminent death? I was maxed out. It was one of the hardest times of my life, caring for 1 and then 18 months later, 2 of them. Moms of 1 or 2 children, you are doing hard work. It is overwhelming and completely exhausting, and figuring it all out is some of the most physically, mentally, emotionally demanding, and heart-wrenching work you will ever do. I know you are maxed out in every way. And I tell you this, not as someone who is patting you on the back and looking at you with condescending pity, but as someone who knows how hard you are working and how taxing this season is on you. But there is hope. It does get easier. Not because a light bulb goes off one day and you figure it all out, but because, number 2, you will find your way. Your way. Not your mom's way, not Granny's way, not pushy Aunt Bertie's way, your way. What worked for your mom, Granny, and Aunt Bertie may simply not work for you. I love hearing the wisdom and experiences from the older women in my life, but I have to sift through their advice and experiences and choices to find what really helps me and what doesn't. Not only are all children different, but mothers are different. We tick and talk to different beats, some of us slower and some on hyperspeed, some on schedules, and some just winging it. I'm the latter, Lord help me. As you get to know your children and build your home life, you will find what works for you. You will. And letting go of the expectations of others is a big part of that. Pull what works for you, respectfully let go of the rest. This applies to friendships as well. Do you know who my best friends are? The ones that I lean on and trust and cry to and share with? They are my friends who insist, along with me, that there is no one way to do something. I have a very difficult time developing and maintaining friendships with people who have found the one and only way to do something. Oh my gosh, you gave him peanut butter at 10 months? You don't have a laundry day? 3-year-olds should never still be in diapers. Okay, I'm going to pause right here in the blog post because I remember this peanut butter comment catching me so off guard because my pediatrician had just told me to try out peanut butter for him. But here was my friend standing in my kitchen and gasping, questioning what I was doing. This happened to me so much in my younger mom days, and it still happens now that my kids are a little older. Someone with kids, my kids' ages, will say to me, "Are you really going to let your kids do fill in the blank?" But what happened in me through those early experiences with this is that a resolve was built deep in me, and it went like this. It is okay if I don't do things the same way that my friends do them. I'm a different mom than they are, and that's okay. And I need to remember this too for my friends, right? This goes both ways. I can allow my friends to do things their way without judging them and without placing on them the expectation that they do things the way I do them. When I do this for a friend and she does this for me, these are the best mom friends I've ever had. It was true then, and it's true now, 10 years later. Okay, let's go back to the blog post. Oh my gosh, you gave him peanut butter at 10 months? You don't have a laundry day? 3-year-olds should never still be in diapers. Nope, we cannot be friends, not close friends, not cry on your shoulder friends. As you find your way, quick step into a groove with those babies dancing along with you, I've got some really, really, really good news. Number 3, it gets easier if you let God get bigger. I now have 5 children, and I am maxed out, totally maxed out, just like I was when I had 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But mothering is easier for me now than it used to be for one reason. I need God more. I need him in the morning, at noon, and at night. I need him to wipe my tears when my baby won't let me sleep at night. I need him to calm my heart when I'm changing bed sheets at 2 a.m. I need him to keep my children safe because I only have 2 hands and 1 set of eyes, and crossing a parking lot means holding on tight, but it also means letting go of I can do this, and trading it for God. You are with me and you love them too. I need him to help me trade my doing for his doing. I need his patience. I need his joy. I need his love. You know, I needed God when I had 1 and 2 children, but I had all of this stuff, books and gear and grannies and know-it-all voices, and I had me. So I flailed about amidst all of that and tried to raise my children in the land of I can do this. But God has whittled away all of that other stuff. He's taught me that he loves my children more than I do, and he loves to hear my voice calling out to him and letting him fill me with strength and wisdom and love and joy for my children. I don't have it, but he does. So mamas of 1 or 2 littles afoot, when you ask me, how do you do it? I know what you're asking. And I know what you're feeling and what's behind your eyes. And I walked in your shoes, and you are doing the hard, hard stuff of motherhood. It is not easier because you only have 1 or 2 children. But as you find your way, and the more you let God be your strength and realize that you cannot, in many ways you think you can, it gets easier. And it gets so, so good. That's it. That's the post. I believe all of that 10 years later, now more than ever. I am still totally maxed out. Like, I have so much to do right now in my life that I have no idea how I'm going to get it all done. And my best friends are still the ones that let me make my parenting choices without judging me. And I let them do the same too. And God, He's the best friend I've ever had. And I know deep down in my soul that He loves my kids more than I do. And I am straight up crazy about my kids. So, if you're a mom of 1 or 2 children and this has encouraged you today, or you know a mom who could use this encouragement as she parents her little ones, send them this podcast. I'll link the blog post in the show notes too. And if you're not already, I really hope that you'll come on over and connect with us at No Way But Through on Instagram. We would love for you to be part of it. Thank you for listening today. See you next time as we talk all things mom on the No Way But Through podcast.